from PRX.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and friends beyond the binary, it's time for the podcaster that's here to provide a recharge, whether you're like, whatever the heck, whether you're USB-C, USB-A, whatever your attachment, like lightning, whatever those other 1,000 other ones are. I take all plugs, all around the world to help you plug in and recharge. So you could say that later tonight or tomorrow, because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. All right, everybody, it's time for me to talk about another sleep podcast you should be checking out, and that's Calm History. Would you like to learn about history as you fall asleep? Then check out Calm History in your podcast app. My buddy Harris is going to soothe you to sleep as you learn about Easter Island, Marco Polo, Joan of Arc, Jackie Robinson. There's even historical episodes about beings from other that are traveling to our world, sea buddies that live in lock buddies, ships that may have been portrayed by Kate Winslet and not Leo Beckinsale. Is Leo Beckinsale anyway? Don't worry about me. Worry about Calm History. There's no Leo Beckinsale on Calm History. There's only Harris, my buddy, and he's great. So if you're looking to add to your sleepy repertoire, check out Calm History in your podcast app of choice. You use the link in our show notes. You're really going to like it. Thanks, everybody. Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
This posty poster son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. But there's also a tiny way anybody can help out the show. It's free. It helps out the show a little bit. And that's following the podcast wherever you listen to it, or commenting if you listen on Spotify or YouTube. It really helps other people discover the show, helps you stay up to date on the latest episodes. And only 50% of people follow or subscribe. It's free to follow or subscribe in podcast apps. So if you do that, it just gives it helps people discover the show, and it helps you stay up to date on the show. So follow or subscribe in your podcast app. That'll help out the show a little bit. Not necessarily keep us going forever, but I'd appreciate it. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me. That's in every podcast app, too. That has a story-only episodes that'll add it to your sleepy repertoire. Thanks, and what do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, travel, changes in routine or weather, whatever's keeping you awake. I'd like to take your mind off that. I'd like to distract you. I'd like to put you at ease and keep you company here. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing tones, pointless meanders, tangents, a lot of talking, going off topic, but friendly. I'm friendly. I'm here to help. If you're new, thanks for checking the show out. I'll just tell you right now, it doesn't work for everybody. It's a podcast to be here while you fall asleep, and The structure show, first 4 or so minutes are business. Then we have an intro. The intros are about 12 minutes because they're a show within a show. Put some people to sleep. Some people listen for their own enjoyment or amusement or, while they're putting on lotions and salves and creams and things and balms. Or, getting all the covers set up and, getting ready for bed, I guess was what I was saying. So the show starts business, a long intro, show, which is you can fall asleep during that. You could skip it or you could listen to it. Then tonight we'll be talking about a recent episode of Doctor Who, a recent episode I viewed, where we actually, this is the first time I heard someone say Doctor Who. Like, why don't you get a name? In this episode, it was Spock, was a suggested name. But here's the thing about the Doctor Who recaps. You don't have to watch Doctor Who. Recaps are just like a bedtime story you would hear as a kid. They resemble about as much of Doctor Who as Doctor 1, 4, and 7 resemble each other, which I don't know if they do. But that's like the numbers that came into my head. You'd say, which episode was Scoots talking about Doctor Who about one? And you say, well, I don't know. Was there ever an episode where they played beach volleyball the whole time? Because it wasn't, I think he was talking about beach volleyball. That won't be this episode, but that could be something to say. Well, okay, I got a question. He's doing it with, what does the doctor wear to play beach volleyball? Did you say beach volleyball or beach volleyball? Well, both. The doctor wears whatever the doctor wears. Okay, so anyway, then I'll talk about Doctor Who. Then we'll have some thank yous at the end. And all told, I'll be here about an hour. And the reason is this is a podcast. You don't really need to listen to it. You could just kind of listen. Or barely listen, or you could totally listen. I'll be here till the end to keep you company. And that's the other thing. I'll be here to keep you company, to take your mind off of stuff, and not necessarily to put you in pressure. There's no pressure to fall asleep. There's no shoulds, woulds. There probably are shoulds and woulds and coulds. But, this podcast is just meant to be your companion, your friend, your boar friend, your boar bae, your boar cuz, your boar bestie. Or your Borsus, as I said recently, to be here as you drift off into dreamland, to take your mind off stuff. I think I said that a few times. And the reason is, like, I've always had trouble falling asleep. And sometimes people, and I don't think they do it intentionally, but not everybody is always the best at whatever that fancy word is for saying, oh, that's legit. Like, I don't think it's legitimizing feelings, because that doesn't really sound... That neither sounds clinical nor it makes me feel good. You say, oh, boy, why don't you come over? We'll spend the day legitimizing feelings. You say, what is that, like a board game like a TV movie pilot? Was that one of the board games? Yeah, it was a board game I was going to launch. It was going to be the next big thing, legitimizing feelings. It was more of a card game. Yeah, it was all about legitimizing feelings or not. And it was complicated. And it didn't launch. I did some play testing. Unfortunately, I got worried about asking anybody to do any play testing. So I just play tested with myself. And then I got so competitive with myself that took all the fun out of it. Took the joy out of legitimizing feelings. So then I just went back to recording podcast intros. But I don't know, sometimes, like, particularly now when I'm recording, I have some strong feelings coming up every once in a while. And sometimes I can't even put words into them to describe them. They just say, well, I guess if I describe my feelings, it says, I don't totally feel comfortable being an adult, would be to summarize for the blanket term for all the feelings I'm going through. And sometimes people give you great advice like, well, just, suck it up. Okay, get over it. Okay. Maybe they give you some more specific. Well, why don't you try and name those feelings? And I said, well, I did. If I had to name them, I say feelings I don't like. Would that be like a Jeopardy category? Because that would be it. Well, no, have you tried to talk to your feelings? You see, what am I, like Dr. Doolittle or of the feelings? No, I just want to, I tell you what, I'd just like to get rid of these feelings is what I'd like to, well, you can't just get rid of them. You got to deal with, okay, have you dealt with your feelings? Well, believe it or not, I was dealing out a game of legitimizing feelings earlier. And that's where all these feelings came from. Because then I said, another part of me was counting the cards. And then a third part of me was watching my dealing with dissatisfaction. And then I realized that I was like supposed to be doing something else more productive than play testing a game that could have legitimately changed legitimizing feelings and just board gaming. So yeah, now I have these feelings that are like, so you haven't dealt with them. Are you avoiding your? I say, okay, enough with it. What if there was a world where we just said, "Woof, that sounds tough." Tell me, how does it feel? I don't know. It feels like being an adult, kind of. Oh yeah, I know that. I do. I could say. I guess I could say. Maybe this is how a game of. This is why legitimizing feelings didn't launch. Say, wow, that's. Sorry, that's being an adult is tough. It can feel that way for sure. I can see it in your face. And strangest thing that we're adults and somehow it kind of says, well, hey, when the heck did, I see, yeah, I hear you. Well, how about why don't you deal out, what's that game there? What do you play testing a game? Tell me more. Well, yeah, I don't want to, no, not that game, the other one. Oh yeah, this game, it's called Napkin Crash. It's actually, this is a real good game I take a napkin, a used napkin, so it's also a way to repurpose, not super used, moderately used napkins, and I crumble them up, and then I pretend they're planets or asteroids. I call them stroids, and then I kind of have them crash into each other, and then I pretend. Oh, so are there any rules to the game? Oh, there's a couple rules. Yeah, there are some rules that like use slightly used napkin. I guess napkin that wouldn't be termed gross. That's one rule. Don't use a new napkin because then we'd have feelings about that. No, there's no rules. Just have fun and pretend. Usually I make space noises like, I guess it's less of a game, more of a pastime. Oh, wow. I like it. I can see, does it feel good when you crash the napkin asteroids into one another? It does feel pretty good. Why don't you go ahead and, why don't I take over? Even though you're you and I'm you, you crash those, now I'll take the rest of the intro from here. Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, you like, it's too much time, people telling you, go ahead and just enjoy playing with those napkins. Hey, Scoots here. Another version of Scoots, almost the same, but I'm not kidding. I've been legitimized, so I feel a little bit, or whatever the fancy word is, when you say, it's not vindicated either. I'm not sure what that feeling is where you say, wow, those are, I almost had it. It's like not vindicated, legitimized, or acknowledged. Validated. That's the one. Thank you. Yeah, I feel a little validated. I validated my buddy over there. So I'm a little bit more chill, and I didn't even stop the recorder or nothing. And it's really the role the podcast may serve is to take your mind off stuff, to offer you a distraction. You say, well, why don't you put the play testing aside and just crumble up some used napkins and, you could even do napkin racing or listen to a goofy bedtime story because I know how it feels when you can't sleep, whatever the reason is. I don't know. I say, wow, that's, let me see if I can help. And the way I help is to tell goofy, rambling bedtime stories, or in this case, barely resemblable version of, you want to talk about validating. I guess in some sense I'm invalidating the sensible plots of Doctor Who, but not really, because I do enjoy the show, and that's what the secret sauce is. I enjoy the episodes are so full that I can really, make them fuzzy and sleepable. So I'm glad you're here. I guess that's the main thing, and I hope I can help carry you off into dreamland. I appreciate you coming by. It takes a few tries of the podcast to put for people to say, "What is this thing?" And will it work for me? But I hope it works for you. And that's it. I really work hard. I strive and I yearn to help you fall asleep. So thanks again for coming by. Good night. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and this message is only for super fans of the podcast, people that, particularly if you listen all night long or you fall asleep fast, listen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nights a week, or you've been listening longer than a year, longer than 3 years. If that's not the case, this is not a message directed at you. But if you're in one of those groups, you're just like, this podcast has changed my life so much. I do have to ask you, would you miss the podcast if it's gone? And if the answer's no, or nah, I'd find something else, or yeah, no, I have 3 sleep backup podcasts, don't worry about it. But if you would miss this podcast if it's gone, and you have not considered supporting the show on Sleep With Me Plus, we really do need your support. We've been trying to get it since April, and I've been really working hard at just getting your attention. And it's fine if you've decided not to support the podcast, but if you've considered it and are putting it off, don't put it off any longer, because if you'd miss the podcast if it's gone, and you haven't considered supporting the show on Sleep With Me Plus, I mean, not only do you get tons of amazing bonus content, but it's what keeps the show around. So if you'd miss the show if it's gone, and you haven't considered supporting the show on Sleep With Me Plus, please try it out right now. Right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Set up the bonus content tomorrow. But if you'd miss a show, if it's going to take action right now, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Test it out. See what you think. And become a part of the future of this show. And it'll be around. That's at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. All right, so here we are. We're talking Series 1, Episode 9 of Doctor Who. Empty Child is it, but it opens with the TARDIS in space, and it seems to be chasing a tube. We have some funny dialogue that we'll get to. Doctor's really working hard. I said, does he have a stand? Is this a standing desk? Is this a standing cockpit? But I don't even have to ask, because most of the time it is. And then there was some green light on their faces, Rose and the Doctor, as they talked, and then a shot of Earth, and the episode opens. So, yeah, this is the first time I've seen the TARDIS in pursuit of something. And it moves through space better than you would think it would, but not so great. And Rose is like, Doctor, what's up? He goes, it's mauve. And I said, move? He said, no, mauve, the color. Universally recognized color for big, capital T rhymes with P and stands for tube. And Rose said, I thought that was red was that color. He goes, no, that's humans. He goes, everyone else uses mauve. You and your red alerts create so much misunderstanding. And he says, it's got some basic flight computer. I'm just like he's created a secondary drive and hooked himself into it. So she goes, how safe is this? He goes, totally, 100%, just like Scoots would say. And then he says, well, reasonably, because then the TARDIS starts to have some problems. And then it shoots into some sort of vortex. He goes, oh, no, it's changing time tracks, getting away. And Rose goes, what is it? Doctor goes, I don't know. She goes, well, why are we chasing? He goes, it's mauve and it's, trouble. And he goes, it's 30 seconds from London. And that's when we see Earth, and that's when it opens. Then we see, I also noticed on the Doctor Who logo at the beginning, there's glowing pips or rivets on there. So I wanted to talk to and mark that, just tell everybody. And we see the TARDIS in between some apartment buildings. There's laundry on the lines. They're big apartment buildings in an urban area, London, presumably. Someone's watching the Doctor and Rose. Rose has a Union Jack T-shirt, which will be many jokes. But someone's watching them go through blurry glasses or something. And I don't know if this was on a set or on location, but they did a little U-turn to simulate going down one alley and another one. I liked that. Then they talk about psychic paper, re-explain it for any new people, or as a reminder. Doctor tries to show Rose psychic paper. She goes, "Yeah, I already know what psychic paper is, Doctor." Let's see what the dialogue said. Rose goes, let's see, they get out. He goes, how many times do we got to end up on Earth? And Rose goes, every 5 days, or is it just when we need milk? And the doctor says, of all the species in the universe, why do we get that out of cows? And then they're looking for this tube. Doctor goes, it's got to be within a mile. Maybe it was here a month ago. We're behind it with the time tracks. And Rose goes, jeepers creepers. So the doctor goes, you want to drive? And she says, we were a little behind it. How much is that? And he goes, a bit. I thought that was funny. And she goes, exactly a bit. And then he goes, a bit-ish, I guess. And she goes, what's the plan? Are you going to scan for alien tech or something? And the doctor goes, no, I'm going to ask around. Dr. John Smith, Ministry of Asteroids. That's what a psychic paper says. And she goes, yeah, I know. He goes, this is psychic paper. Rose goes, you bragged to somebody else, dude. I know. And the doctor goes up to a warehouse door, and there's music coming out of it. And he goes, what do you think? We should go in there? I'll use my sonic screwdriver. And Rose goes, scan for alien tech. And he goes, what do you mean? She goes, give me some Spock for once. And I assume she's talking about Spock from Star Trek. And then the doctor says, what about your shirt? And she goes, well, it's too early to say. I'm taking it out for a spin. And I think there was one more joke about Spock. Let me see. You're not very Spock. Oh, that's what she said. You're not very Spock, doctor. And I said, the Spock? And then, yeah, she says, come on, do some Spock. But he's working a lot. Then a little kid is looking for his mommy. And so they split up. Rose tries to go help the kid looking for his mom. She says, hey, I'll help you find her. And what does this say? Declan info, Indiana Jones. Doctor goes into an Indiana Jones level club. Even a femme fatale maybe is singing. There's candles. There's upper class. There's officers. And then the doctor, the singing stops, and the doctor really enthusiastically claps. Very enthusiastic. Like, great job. Then he just hops on stage and he starts doing stand-up. He goes, hey, excuse me, by the way, can I get everybody's attention really quick? He goes, anything fallen from the sky recently? And this was like a double level bit, because the doctor, he says, he says, anybody see anything falling from the sky? And he goes deadpan quiet. And then we go to Rose helping the kid. And then we go back, and the doctor goes, did I say something funny? And the audience just starts cracking up. He goes, you need to find something fell out of the sky. People are like, then, a wake up alarm goes. Everybody's like, oh, we got to get back to work. Lunchtime's over. I put obscure stand up on there. Then Rose is trying to help the kid. She just grabs a rope and starts climbing. I had to WTF that one. Then we see more Doctor Comfy Air. Oh, he's more Doctor comedy. So it's switching back and forth. Rose is on a rope. Doctor picks up he picks up the date by looking at the posters on the wall. Realizes it's the 40s, I think. And Rose's rope's attached to a barrage balloon. Barrage balloon. What would I say in Syracuse? Podcast. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Barrage balloon. But they call it a barrage balloon, I think. And she calls to the doctor, and she starts floating off with this balloon. She's going I guess it's a hot air balloon ride on a barrage balloon. And, London's in the midst of a WW. Doctor goes and looks for Rose. He picks up a cat and talks to it. He says, hey, cat, cat, how you doing? Also, Rose has some more jokes about her shirt. And the doctor goes, hey, cat, how you doing? One day I'm going to meet some human that doesn't just wander off when I tell them not to wander off. And the cat says, meow, I kind of like you. Picks up a cat and talks to it. Then his outside phone rings on the box, not the inside phone, the outside phone, and he's stunned, which is kind of surprising because the doctor doesn't ever get stunned. 2 question marks. And then a girl appears, Nancy. She says, by the way, don't answer that phone. It's not for you. And the doctor goes, how do you know? She goes, I know, just don't answer it. And he goes, how's it ringing? It's not hooked up to anything. And he turned to look at the phone, turns back. Nancy's gone. And he answers the phone. It's actually, he goes, hello, how may I help you? The doctor speaking. And they said, I guess he was in business mode because he was very serious. And then it's a kid looking, he goes, hey, have you seen my mom? And the doctor goes, this number, are you calling collect, kid? Because this is, and the kid goes, are you my mom? And he goes, no. And then, the kid goes, how'd you call this? It's not even a real phone. And the kid goes, by the way, I'm looking for my mom. Keep an eye out for her. The doctor goes, okay. He goes, Rose, are you in the police box or what? The kid hung up on the doctor. I get to look at my notes. See, he said, how'd you call? The kid just hangs up. He didn't do the whole Prince Albert in a can thing. So he calls in, sees Rose is in the box, in the TARDIS, but she's not. So he runs off. Then we see Nancy. She's like a little bit like an Oliver Twist type character at this point. And there's an unhappy family. They have to enter, their dinner's been interrupted. There's some nice theme music with, to give Nancy this good orphan theme. And she starts collecting food. And then we see Rose is still on the balloon. And then we get a glimpse of this dashing hero named Jack, like straight out of a Marvel movie. And he's at the officers club. He's got these high-tech binoculars. He says, sorry, old man, to another, not old man, but another officer. Then we see the orphan girl again. She sees this like a huge dinner laid out, and no one's eating it. So she goes outside and she whistles. All the neighborhood kids come in for a feast. She's very mothering. Then we go back to Rose, who's on the rope. And the dashing hero's like, I got to go. I see a young woman on a barrage balloon. I'm going to go help her. And so he heads out. Oh, one of the things Nancy took is shortbread. I just saw that too. But then he puts a tractor beam on Rose on a rope. I liked that. He puts a tractor beam on her. Nancy's looking around the house. I'm watching it right now. And she must smell there's turkey, like a whole, like a holiday dinner. She's got a big grin. And then she goes to call the kids. And when Rose is in the tractor beam, she says, the dashing hero Jack says, keep your hands and feet inside the tractor beam at all times and shut off your cell phone. And Rose goes, you're kidding me, right? And he goes, no, it really messes things up. We don't just say that. And yeah, she says, yeah, nobody believes it. And then she does. And he says, oh, thank you. And she says, it's great. I'm in the sky with a Union Jack across my chest, but hey, at least my phone's off. And Jack is in this very modern spaceship. And then the computer says, what does it say? Contemporary life form. And doctor says, she's not from around here, no. Yeah, Jack the hero talks to the computer. Then he brings Rose down by tractor beam, catches her, and they have a little, flirting moment. He goes, you're fine. Tractor beam can, be a little bit confusing. And Rose goes, hello. And the doctor goes, hello. And then she says, hello. And Rose is good. She's like, sorry, I said hello twice there. A bit of dull, And the doctor says, you okay? And Rose says, well, I'm a little light. I'm going to sit down for a minute. and shut my eyes. So she does. She sits down, takes a little nap. Then we have Nancy serving supper. More and more kids are coming to supper. Nancy has a lot of rules. 1 portion per kid, 1 slice per kid. She says, treat everybody with respect. We're guests in this house. No comments. Everybody wash up. There's some new kids there. And Nancy says, what are you, sleeping rough? And the kids go, yeah, yes, miss. Best dressed, these are very, like Oliver level orphans. They're very well dressed too. And she says, everyone chew properly. And they all say, thanks, miss. Thank you, miss. Thank you, miss. And then they're passing around and all of a sudden you hear, thanks, miss. And it's the doctor. And all the kids are surprised. Adult in the room. They don't know if it's the doctor, though. And Nancy says, don't worry, kids. And then the doctor plays along. He's totally in his element. He says, good in here, isn't it? Who's got the salt, please? Yeah, put doctor in his element. He loves that. And the doctor goes, so you lot, what's your story? And one of the kids says, what do you mean? And he goes, well, you're living on your own, living rough. Another kid says, what are you, a copper? And he goes, doctor crushes it. He goes, I'm not a copper. He goes, what's a copper going to do for you? Arrest you for being hungry? And he goes, doctor says, if it's 1941, you kids shouldn't even be here. He goes, you should have been out in the country. And they go, yeah, well, the city's got food, so we're here in the city. And they go, it's better here. A little mystery. And the doctor goes, so this Nancy, you're big-hearted. Keeping track of these kids and getting them these big meals. You wait until everybody goes and hides out, and then you go find a big family meal. He says, seems like a decent plan for now. He goes, brilliant. He goes, if it's not Marxism, it could be a West End musical. And then Nancy says, what do you want? Why are you following me around? He goes, well, I still can't figure out that phone thing, that trick. And she goes, I told you not to answer it, and that's all I'm saying. And then the doctor goes, I'm looking for a blonde and a Union Jack. And all the kids laugh. He goes, a specific one. They didn't just wake up and decide this. And the children laugh more. And the doctor goes, anyone seen someone like that? And Nancy takes his plate away. Your doctor goes, what's the matter? She goes, you took 2 slices. And she goes, no blondes, no flags. Anything else before you leave? And the doctor goes, yeah, actually, I'm looking for something else that fell out of the sky, like a tube ship. It looks like a pickle. He draws a picture. It looks like a pickle. And the children know exactly what it is. Doctor, what does this say? Just Bostai. Gets busted for taking 2 slices. Then the kid comes looking for his mommy. Ends up it's a little bit of a game all the kids play, and he's it, and they're still playing it. So they say, okay, we got to get out of here. This is like the game Chasing, but it's who's finding my mommy. So it's fun. All the kids go back and try. And Nancy's like, everybody get back and hide. But then the doctor says, Nancy, he says, Nancy, why are you letting a game interrupt a dinner? He goes, there's something else. He goes, there's another element to this game that I don't understand. And then the kid outside makes the phone ring, and the doctor goes like that. And then he makes the radio go on. And he goes, the person that's it's got more power than, he goes, I don't know if the rules of this game are fair. Then the kid makes like a wind-up monkey go and say, hey, I'm looking for mommy. And Nancy bails, and the kid goes through the mail slot because the doctor's not sure if he's going to play. And the doctor goes, kid, mommy, there's no mommies here, just us chickens. And he goes, actually, just this chicken. And then the kid, I don't know if he tried to trick the doctor. He goes, hey, come on, I just want to play this game. Open the door and let's play together. And then the doctor decides to open the door, but the kid's already gone. And they do a really good somatic connection, to the doctor with these kids and everything in this situation where it reminds him of his past. Also, we'll see, like, very similar to Star Trek. This is a pro-human. Again, I said, can you be jingoistic about humans? This is more about Britain being great. But it's still, the doctor's a big fan of humans, humanity, and everybody in the UK. Then we're on a spaceship. Rose wakes up, and she's charmed and awkward, and charmingly awkward. And she wakes up with dashing Jack, and she sees his psychic paper right away. He goes, first they go, hello. She goes, hello. He goes, okay. She goes, let's not start that again. And she goes, who are you? And he shows his psychic paper. He goes, Jack Harkness, 133rd Royal Air Force, American. Rose goes, you're lying. That psychic paper tells you, but you can tell it what you wanted to, but you accidentally told it to put your dating profile on there. And Jack says, how did you know? She goes, I got a friend who has psychic paper. She goes, so you're single and you work out, eh? And Jack goes, oh boy. Yeah, she goes, yeah, you got to think about it. And she hands it back to him, and he goes, oh, so you just, you kind of have a boyfriend named Mickey, but you're also very available. And Rose goes, how about we talk without the psychic paper? And the doctor goes, yeah. And she goes, yeah, well, this is a nice spaceship. And Rose's acting is very high level. Yeah, she goes, this is like a Spock level spaceship. And Jack doesn't know who Spock is. And she goes, okay, I guess you're not local. And he goes, you got an LCD watch, a cell phone, and some fabrics that are like from 20 years from now. You're not local either. She goes, you got it. And he goes, did you get any rope scrapes? And she goes, yeah. And then she looks out the window. She goes, we're in the middle of the sky just hovering. And he goes, here, I got some nanobots to fix your hands, nanogenes. And Rose is pretty impressed with that one. And then Jack goes, by the way, you can cut it out. He goes, I know you're a time agent. And Rose goes, oh, time agent, huh? And he goes, I've never seen a time agent fly by barrage balloon. And she goes, sometimes I get swept off my feet by balloons, da-da-dum. And then, whatever, he says, my nanogenes rock. And she goes, well, tell them thanks. And then they're kind of smiling. And then Jack says, let's get down to business. Drink some champagne on ice up on the roof in front of Big Ben. And we see that he has, his ship is kind of cloaked. It's almost invisible, which Rose kind of finds obviously strange to stand on an invisible ship. And she says, don't worry, Rose, you're standing on something. And then the doctor makes the ship appear. And she goes, so you have an invisible spaceship tethered to Big Ben for some reason. And Jack goes, first rule of active camouflage, park where you remember. And then they start pouring the champagne. Then we see, then this is a good scene. Nancy's like trying to hide some food for somebody. And the doctor's there. She goes, would you follow me? He goes, yeah, I got a nose for it. And she goes, usually people can't follow me unless I want to let them. And the doctor goes, I have, my nose has special powers. And this one really hit home with me. She goes, is that why it's so, and he goes, what? And she goes, does your ears have special powers too? And I can remember the first time somebody made fun of the size of my nose. And I was like, really? I didn't didn't really realize they needed, and I don't think they were doing it. They were doing it in a more friendly banter way. So I can relate to that. And I don't know if my ears are big though. But the doctor goes, what are you trying to say? And Nancy goes, I got to go. And the doctor goes, look at Nancy, you can't play games forever with this other kid. You guys got to take turns being the one who's IT. And he goes, plus I have to find that pickle ship, the ship that looks like a pickle. And Nancy goes, it fell on the other house, a Limehouse Green Station. And good luck getting it to it because it's guarded by people. And the doctor goes, well, I got to get to it. And she goes, well, you could talk to somebody first, to the doctor. And that's more of a trailer moment, I guess. But it was pretty cool to be able to, like, at first be like, wait, the doctor has to talk to the doctor. Is it another doctor? Then we have Jack and Rose drinking champagne on an ice-like ship. And Rose goes, I got to hit the road. And he goes, no, we're doing business. She goes, this isn't business, it's champagne. He goes, I can't do business with a clear head. And he starts talking in riddles. He says, can you negotiate with me? And she goes, she tries to play along. I go, oh, yeah, what do you want to negotiate? He goes, something for you to buy. Can you make a payment? And Rose goes, well, I'll have to talk to my partner. And he goes, partner? And she goes, yeah, I got to get back to him. And he goes, him? And Rose goes, she says, she goes, what do you, by the way, do you have the time? And he like uses his, kind of upgraded psychic screwdriver or whatever to turn Big Ben on, like some smooth move. And Rose even says, okay, that was Flash. That was on the Flash side. And the doctor, or this Jack kind of makes a move on Rose. And he goes, when you say companion partner, what do you mean? And Rose goes, okay, I'm just trying to think straight headed here. On a spaceship during, the WW. She goes, do you really think this is the best time to not discuss business? And then he walks away and he says, oh, perhaps not. And Rose goes, well, it's just a suggestion. And then he says, do you like Glenn Miller? And then he puts Moonlight Serenade on and they start dancing. And he says, 1941, the height of the BLITZ. And he goes, but a pickle ship also fell, a Chula pickle ship, last one in existence. And he goes, everything's on it, and I know because I parked it. And he says, this is why they're dancing. He says, if the agency has the right price, I can get it. Otherwise, I'm going to make it go bye-bye. You got 2 hours or 2 days or something. And he goes, how about payment? And she goes, do you know what I think? And he goes, what? And he goes, she says, oh, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking about. And the doctor goes, 2 hours, Rose, to figure it out. And she goes, promises, promises. He goes, are you even listening? And then she goes, yeah. So what are you, you were a time agent and now you're a freelancer? And he goes, I'm a tough guy, Rose. I'm not a hero. I'm an anti-hero. And she goes, I bet you think of yourself that way. And he goes, so is this companion of yours handle the business? And she goes, well, I delegate, but yeah, sometimes. And he goes, well, maybe we should go get him. And Rose goes, how you can do that? And he goes, well, I'll scan for some alien tech. And Rose goes, finally, a professional. It's kind of funny. And next we have Doctor and Nancy, and Doctor has some like high-tech binoc opera glasses too. Not as high-tech as Jack's, but his are brass, I think. And the Doctor is really, like as I said, thematically this makes sense, but also personally, he's very curious and caring about Nancy. Because she says, just go check and talk to the doctor. Because after you find out, you might not want that pickle ship. But then she's like, I got to get out of here. And the doctor goes, where are you going? She goes, to get food for the kids. And the doctor goes, can I ask you a question? Like, why do you do it? Why are you so caring and helpful? And she goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, you're looking after all those kids. Maybe it's to make up for something. And she goes, yeah, I miss my brother. He is living in the country on a farm, running around all the time. And the doctor goes, oh, and she goes, yeah, so I miss him. So, I like to be around other kids, so I see him again. And the doctor goes, amazing. And Nancy goes, how so? And the doctor says, well, 1941, and you're the underdog. Dominoes are falling. This is where you get to the pro message. He goes, one tiny, damp little island says, no, not here. A mouse in front of a lion. And he says, you're amazing, a lot of you. He goes, I don't know how other people feel about you, but whoa, boy, you're courageous. Now off you go. Save the world, Nancy. And so that was a sweet moment, I thought. Nancy and Brits, then the doctor meets the doctor, And it was like, I would tell you now, it was like a little bit anticlimactic because it was just a doctor. And they're at like a sleep lab, believe it or not, and all of the unexpected things, and especially in the midst of the blitz, it's a sleep lab, and this doctor's studying snoring, but a very special kind of snoring, which ties into the plot. And the doctor can't believe all these people are snoring, and their snore is saying like this kind of Three Stooges-esque snore where everybody says they don't want to do the snore, but it's like, mommy, like a snore like that, but a little bit more like Three Stooges level snore. But, I got to make a sleep podcast. But everybody's doing that same snore. And the doctor's like, everybody in the sleep test is snoring that way. And the doctor goes, why do you think they're snoring that way? But they're asleep. And the doctor goes, only kind of. And he goes, are you the doctor? He goes, yeah, Dr. Constantine. Who are you? He goes, friend of Nancy's. He goes, oh, Nancy, you must be looking for that pickle ship then. And the doctor goes, did you say pickle ship or pickle chip? And Constantine says, ship. What do you know about it? And the doctor goes, I was just asking around. And he goes, what do you know about it? And Constantine goes, I'm pretty sure it's causing this snoring situation. Because when it came, that's when everybody went to sleep and started snoring in unison. And the doctor goes, it seems like you're about to start snoring. And he goes, none of this is even possible. And he goes, yeah, I don't think it is. It's strange. And then Dr. Constantine says, are you a doctor? And the doctor says, I have my moments. And he goes, go ahead, really listen to their snores and even their breathing. And the doctor does. He says, all of the breathing is in sync in the same snore. Snore, snore. Mommy, inhale, saying mommy too, but that's, too much for this show. He goes, I can't believe it. Every single one, not possible. And Dr. Constantine says, this is some sort of snortagion, a contagious snore, like a sympathetic vibration, but with snoring. Not, again, counterintuitive, not even possible. And he goes, identical snores. He goes, when did it start? And the doctor goes, again, when the pickle ship came. First it was this one kid. Then it was everybody. Everybody started snoring the same. Everybody started breathing inside and out. And the doctor goes, well, what wakes him up? He goes, I get a chance to play a game, like a hide-and-go-seek level game called Go Chasing Mommy. And then everybody says, are we playing? Everybody sits up. They say, what, we're going to play the game? You got to be kidding me. This is great. He goes, the doctor goes, what are you, the only person helping out with these snores? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm a doctor. I got to help. And the doctor says, I know. And the doctor says, we can't keep, this snortagion going to cause everybody to snore in London. He goes, so go up to the top floor and find Nancy. And he goes, Nancy, why? He goes, it's her brother. He's out there, but he goes, he's snoring. He goes, he's not just playing hide and seek, he's snoring, mommy. And then Dr. Constantine falls asleep, which is, the doctor says, holy cow, I thought we were going to figure something out and you just fell asleep on me. Doctor, top floor, falls asleep, snores. Mommy is a snorer. Nancy's brother, snore. Then Jack and Rose show up, but Rose is still playing with Jack. So they say hello. They meet in the hallway. And Jack goes, hey, good evening. I'm Jack Harkness. Heard all about you. And Rose goes, he knows we're time agents. And the doctor goes, huh? And Jack goes, pleasure to meet you, Mr. Spock. And he pats the doctor, and then the doctor goes, Mr. Spock. And the Rose goes, and this is important. I don't know if they did this in other ones, but she goes, well, what was I supposed to say? You don't have a name. Don't you ever get tired of Doctor? Doctor Who? So I thought that was cool. And then the doctor says, how am I doing? Well, 9 centuries later, I'm still doing my best. He goes, what are you doing? We're just going to stroll around here. And Rose goes, strolling. I flew by barrage balloon. And the doctor goes, what? And then Rose goes, what's a Chula pickle ship? And the doctor goes, a Chula pickle ship. Holy mackerel. Then we jump back to Nancy. She is playing hide and seek with her brother, who's, I guess, is sleepwalking and playing hide and seek, is snoring to mommy. And Nancy's really trying to hide, because I guess if you get tagged, you snore. And she's like, well, I can't be sleeping when I'm collecting food for all these other kids, so I have a duty to do. Then we hop back to the doctor. Let's see, Nancy's brother. Doctor Who, barrage balloon, Chula ship. Okay, so then they go back into the sleep lab and they see everybody. And Jack goes, this is impossible. Everybody's snoring in unison. How'd this happen? And the doctor goes, tell me more about the Chula ship. And Jack goes, what? And Rose goes, he stole it and parked it somewhere. Unless we pay him, he's going to get rid of it. And the doctor goes, what kind of Chula ship is it? And Jack goes, it wasn't a pickle. It was a Chula tube ship, not a pickle ship. And he goes, that's what you chase through the time vortex. A tube ship, not a pickle ship. He goes, I wanted you to think it was a pickle ship, but it's empty. No pickles, nothing but a shell. Because I saw your retro time vehicle. Nice panels, by the way. And I tried to throw some bait at you. And Rose goes, bait? And he goes, yeah, I was going to try to sell it to you and then get rid of it before you found out it was just a tube ship and not a pickle ship. And Rose goes, but you said it was a pickle ship. He goes, pickle ship to tube ship. He goes, I was conning you. I'm a con man. I thought you were time agents, but you're not, right? And Rose goes, no, we're just freelancers. He goes, you should have known the way you're dressed. I mean, flag girl and U-boat captain with the doctor's leather jacket and Rose's shirt. She kind of looks at it. And he goes, well, this snoring has nothing to do with the ship. And Rose doesn't buy it. So she says, doctor, what do you think? And everybody starts being snoring and decides to play whatever, hide and go mommy or whatever, chasing mommy. And the doctor goes, something's going on. He goes, this is a snortagion. And he goes, I've never seen it before, so I don't understand why it's happening. What's the point? And then we see Nancy and her brother trying to get out of chasing. And Rose goes, I don't know. And so then they start playing chase with all the people that are asleep. And Rose is like, how do we play tag if the other team's asleep? And the doctor goes, I don't know. And we get some cuts back to Nancy playing hide and seek or chase, and Rose and the doctor and Jack playing chase. And it switches back and forth with Nancy trying to say, hey, why don't you just wake up? Let's stop playing chase and eat some turkey. And then the doctor, Rose, and Jack trying to wake everybody up and saying, quit being turkeys. We're trying to wake you up and not play hide and seek. And then the episode actually comes to an end because it's a two-parter, which I didn't realize when I started it. So will the sleepwalking mommy snorers keep snoring, or will the doctor wake them up? And what does a pickle ship even have to do with it? We'll find out next time. So let's see, a couple of things to get up in the episode were Time Agent, which is actually like a fan YouTube series by Well Built Productions. It depicts the adventures of the time agents, traveling time agents who deal with ET type stuff. Loosely based on, so the show's loosely based on, so I don't know if time agents will turn up again. I don't want to talk too much about Time Agent because I don't want to ruin it in case everybody finds out. Let's see what Time Agency says on the TARDIS Wiki. Time Agency was an organization founded to fill the vacuum of power left by the Time Lords. Originated around the 49th century, and it was shut down after the 52nd century. It employed humans called time agents who used vortex manipulators to travel through time. Agency also dealt with time loops by containing them in bubble universes. Agent's purpose is to change without interfering, leaving an effect with no evidence of cause, untraceable, undetectable, invisible. Agents do not exist. So let's see some other things where Rose said it's on the Flash side, which when you look at anything on Google, it just comes up for words for the Flash. But you could assume it means something cool. Sorry, old man. I couldn't find any good examples of the origin of that. Mauve, M-A-U-V-E, is a pale purple color. It was a pale purple aniline dye prepared by William H. Perkin in 1856. It was the first synthetic dye stuff. It's named after the mallow flower. And the first use of mauve as a color was in 1796 to 98, according to Oxford English Dictionary, but may have been rare before 1859. I liked that Doctor Who reference in there. So some good stuff about Spock and the TARDIS wiki here. Spock was a character, Rose Tyler, associated with a more professional use of technology while in London. She bemoaned the Doctor's reliance on the sonic screwdriver and conversation as his primary investigative tools. Donna Noble also seems familiar with the character of Spock. In a parallel universe, Spock was a crew member of the USS Enterprise in the 23rd century. On one occasion, the 11th Doctor recalled memories of his fourth incarnation meeting up with Spock and the crew of the USS Enterprise to deal with some cyber persons. A fictional character named Spock appeared in the science fiction television series Star Trek in the Doctor's universe. When the third Doctor told Sergeant John Benton he had visited a parallel universe, Benton asked, "You mean like a Star Trek episode where Spock had a beard?" This character was played by Leonard Nimoy, and said at least once, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Spock's brain was an episode that multiple Star Trek multiple Doctor Who characters had seen, or even called it their favorite episode. I think Spock's brain is also the name of a obscure fish song, or something. It's something else, some other major reference I'm missing. There's mentions of Spock in multiple episodes. And they treat him sometimes they treat him as a real individual in an alternate dimension, and other times as a fictional character. And Leonard Nimoy was even considered to direct a 1996 TV movie, Doctor Who, Nth Doctor. It's in that book. And so that's a little bit about Doctor Who and Spock. And make it flash and give me some Spock. As you snuggle in and get comfy and cozy. Good night. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. I just took the Helix quiz. You probably heard it in our pre-roll message. This is your tuck you in message. And I'm checking out the Helix Twilight Luxe. I'm probably going to get it with the Glaciotex cooling cover and the Cool Force layer. And I'm going to get it shipped straight to my door free of charge. And all I did was go to helixsleep.com/sleep, and I took the Helix quiz. Because I missed my old Helix so much. I couldn't move with it. But it was also a great opportunity to get a new Helix because my firmness preference, I think, has changed. I'm looking for something firmer. I've just been sleeping on a lot of firm beds over the past 3 or 4 months. And I really have missed my Helix every single night since I had to say goodbye. Parting wasn't sweet sorrow. It was just sorrow. But now it'll be sweet to be reunited with a new Helix that fits my sleep needs, my feel preferences. So you and your partner should take that Helix quiz. Or if you're looking for a mattress for your kid, for your parents, have them take that quiz. HelixSleep.com/sleep. See which Helix they get matched with. Let me know about it. And then guess what? That mattress will be shipped straight to your door. Helix makes it so easy and personal because it's not about the mattress that's right for everybody. It's about the mattress that's right for you, for your sleep, your needs. And Helix always has amazing deals for our listeners. So go to HelixSleep.com/sleep to see the latest offers for Sleep With Me listeners. That's HelixSleep.com/sleep for current offers. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. That's HelixSleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody.